Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Intro to Computer Applications at Ozarka College. This morning what I'd like to do is give you just a little bit of feedback on the Excel Module 1 activities that I finished grading this morning. And then I'm going to tell you what we've got coming up due for Module 2. Alright, so the first thing is, like I said, I did finish grading the Excel Module 1 assignments this morning. Go ahead as soon as you can, look at your grades for those activities and read the corresponding grading comments and let me know if you have any questions. If I did have to count points off on your assignments, I was very specific on what you missed, what kind of formatting or what other step that you missed on the assignment. But if you, after reading the comments carefully, if you still have questions, just let me know and I'll be glad to help you better understand what you should have done to get the points that you missed. And like I said, overall, most of you did well on the Excel Module 1 assignment, so I really appreciate the time and effort that you're putting in. Most of you are really doing very well on your assignment, so keep up the good work on that. There were just a couple things that I want to give you some feedback on. There were a few of you who, instead of entering the specified functions and formulas, using the sum button to get the totals and entering the actual formula to get the net values and so forth, you just typed in the calculated values. And I've talked about this on a previous video, and I've also indicated this on the assignment instructions. It is very important to learn how to insert the formulas and functions. And it's a very critical part of each assignment in Excel. And it's going to be a lot of points if you don't actually enter the formulas and functions. So, and the biggest reason, in addition to making sure you're following the instructions, the biggest reason to learn how to insert formulas and functions is that when you make changes to the worksheet later on, and businesses have to make changes to their worksheets all the time because they're the values for their business, be it cost or revenues, whatever it is, are changing all the time. And so they have to make changes to their worksheet. And so if they have the formulas and functions there, it will automatically recalculate. Excel will automatically recalculate those each time that you enter new values in those cells. Whereas if you just type in the calculated value, you use a calculator or whatever to get the value and you just type it in, then it's not going to recalculate for you. And so entering formulas and functions properly is a big outcome that we want to make sure that we accomplish in learning how to use Excel. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you have questions about how to enter formulas and functions, then just let me know and I'll be glad to help you. Okay. Also on assignment 2, the assignment where you had to open up an existing workbook and then make some changes to the worksheet data and to the chart. Some of you didn't make all the changes that it specified. Some of you didn't make any of them at all, and you just submitted the data file, basically. And then some of you did part of the changes that it said to do to the worksheet, but you didn't do all of them. And so that was quite a few points on that assignment too, because that's basically all you were doing. You weren't creating a workbook from scratch. You were basically just opening up an existing workbook and learning how to make changes to the worksheet in the chart. And so just make sure that you're following the instructions. Most of you are, but there are a few of you. I think part of the problem was is that some of you are waiting too late to get started, and then you're just having to kind of rush through it, and then you're missing some of the steps. You're skipping over some of the steps. All right? And that was pretty much it on the feedback. Like I said, most of you are doing well, but there are a few of you that need to probably get started earlier on your assignments for this class and give yourself more time. You're going to be a lot more likely to be successful in this class if you get started early. I know human nature, it's human nature to procrastinate, wait till the last minute, but I've always felt that it makes me feel better to go ahead and get started early on projects and assignments because that way you can get them completed, and then you don't have to worry about something happening right when you're trying to get that particular project done or that assignment completed. I know it's human nature to wait as long as you can, but especially for this class, you're going to be a lot more likely to be successful if you get started early and give yourself plenty of time. All right? Like I said, if you have questions about the feedback on the Excel Module 1 assignments, just let me know. The objective test for Excel Module 1, most of you did well on that. Just as a reminder, you can take those tests as many times as you want to up until the due date, and your highest grade is automatically recorded. All right, so that brings us to what we've got coming up due next. So if we go to the activities page in Miles-Arca, right now we're on week 7, okay? Week 7 of the semester. We don't have anything else due this week. Of course, we just had our Excel Module 1 activities due last night. There's nothing else due this week, but there is work due next week, specifically Excel Module 2. Those activities are due by Friday of next week, which is March 8th. All right? So you've got a little over a week, about a week and a half, to work on those activities. But don't wait until Thursday or Friday of next week to get started. Go ahead and start now. Give yourself enough time to make sure you're able to get everything completed. Okay? And especially with the Excel Module 2, you're going to be basically taking what you've learned from Excel Module 1, just the basics of how to create a workbook and so forth, and you're going to learn some more advanced features of Excel. So you're going to learn more advanced functions and formulas and so forth, and some advanced formatting. And so the sooner you get started on Module 2, the better, because there are going to be some things that you haven't seen before that you're going to have to learn. Just as a reminder, on the Assignment 1 page, there are demonstration videos towards the bottom of the page that I provided for you. Okay? They're in 3, in this case, it's in 3 parts. There's a Part 1 video, Part 2, and Part 3. And in that video, what I do is I take you step by step through the process of creating the workbook for Assignment 1. And then once you learn how to create the workbook in Assignment 1, you should be able to transfer that knowledge and that skill to Assignments 2 and 3, which will be very similar. Okay? So if you haven't been using the demonstration videos to help you, I would highly encourage you to do so. It's going to help those of you that are struggling with Excel. Okay? And if you have questions as you're working through Excel Module 2, let's go back to the activities page so I can show you and remind you of the help discussion here. Excel Module 2 help. Anytime you have a question about Excel, instead of sending me a course mail, I would rather you use this Excel Module 2 help discussion, and it's actually faster and easier to ask your question on there than it is to send a course mail. Just send your question on that Module 2 help discussion, and that way when I answer your question, other students in the class that have similar questions will be able to benefit from that. And we can kind of all help each other learn the topics that we're covering in Excel Module 2. All right, so just be working on those Excel Module 2 activities, and like I said, make use of the learning resources that are provided to you. For example, the demonstration videos that I just showed you just a few minutes ago. Also, again, when you're entering the functions and formulas, make sure you're carefully following the instructions and not just typing in the calculated values. Make sure you actually type in the functions and formulas. All right? Now, the functions at the bottom of the worksheet, it's going to have you calculate an average and a minimum value and a maximum value in a range of numbers. And one of the things I've noticed in previous semesters that some students have problems with is in inserting the functions for those calculations at the bottom of the worksheet. They're sometimes not careful to select the correct range. Sometimes the range that Excel proposes is correct, sometimes it's not. And so you have to make sure that you're selecting the correct range in the functions at the bottom of the worksheet. Sometimes you have to actually just drag through the range that you want included in the functions in the worksheet. Okay? And let's see. I think that's all I have for you for today. So be working on Excel Module 2. Again, let me know if you have questions using that discussion there. And I will talk to you next time. Have a good week and weekend. And I will talk to you again, probably not next week, probably early the following week, since our assignments aren't due until the end of next week. So it'll probably be early the week after our assignments are due. All right? So I'll see you then. Thank you.